Hi there, just read this disclaimer please.
Alright folks, how's it going? A little bit bored today, so I've decided to do a little experiment with Trading 212 and SCHD. You may have noticed this tab in my spreadsheet over the past few videos. Basically what I've done is I've just gone to SCHD's website and downloaded a spreadsheet, export all holdings there, and then that appears on my desktop there, and it just gives you all of the holdings, and it gives you them all every day. So this is from the open on the 19th. So what I've done is, because we can't get SCHD in England or the UK, I thought I'd just experiment with a little approximation in Trading 212. And I figured the best way of doing it would be in a pie, because there's quite a lot of holdings and it just keeps it away from the rest of my Trading 212 account. Now, from what I gather, so basically I've copied those percentages across into this spreadsheet. This spreadsheet then adjusts the percentage based on the opening price of the 19th, which is obviously only like 1 day's worth of trading different. Being that we get taxed 15%, the yield of this fund is not quite as appealing as it would be to an American who's buying the actual ETF itself. They'd get a yield closer to 3.74, and it would be different anyway, because obviously there's about 5.8% of the fund that we're excluding, because we can only go up to 50 holdings in a pie in Trading 212. And I mean, the other limitation is, I think it's something like, I haven't done it yet, but this is part of why I'm doing it, is just to see how pies work, really. I think the limit on pies is 20 pence per slice. So if we look here, put 100 quid into it, this is why I think it's an experiment. This isn't me really investing, this is just a little play, really. So I think 100 quid's enough to get the lowest amount there. And the other thing is, you can't go this exact with the percentages either, so there'll be loads of them with the same percentage rounded to 1 decimal place, I think. Because they're such small numbers, the dividend will get rounded. If you notice here, it's actually only 3 quid. Well, no, this is completely random, to be honest, but based on these exact numbers here, it would currently be giving me 3 quid. Whereas if you actually multiply the percentage yields by the amounts invested, it should be £3.18 with all of the decimals added up together. But obviously we lose all those decimals because we get paid 4 times a year, and at the moment it's 3 quid. But if you change these numbers, the amount of the difference between the rounded number and the non-rounded number changes. So it's just completely random, really. But obviously, if you were using any decent amount of money, like if you went £2,000, it's big enough that it makes such a small difference. It doesn't really matter. But obviously, it's just something to bear in mind with the very small numbers. You might end up with less dividend income or more dividend income, depending on the randomness of the rounding. And I'm now just going through in the pie, adding the various holdings, and then I'll have to go back. So AbbVie, I've just added AbbVie. Now we add BlackRock. And that's how we do it. So we've got 3 now. HD for Home Depot. NYSE, add to pie. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing. I won't record it all. Alright, apologies. I should have recorded the last few steps, shouldn't I? But I've just finished creating the pie. And as we can see, it just appears. So this is the normal screen where we see all my normal investments. And then it's a separate tab for the pies there. And I've called it SCHD Top 50. Does exactly what it says on the tin. And if you click into it, overview, obviously that's just about how much I've got. I had to turn off the dividends, the auto reinvest of dividends was by default turned on. It never asked me at all. So I had to go in there and turn it off. So I selected manual investments, obviously, because I'm not automatically investing money that goes in there, am I? Oh yeah, holdings. Okay, so here we go. This is what I've done. As I mentioned before, you can only use one decimal place. So I just in the spreadsheet, I just changed the rounding here, because if we go like that, that's the rounding, that's the percentages as they should be. So obviously it's just easy just to do that and round it to one decimal place. And then the last one, I think it's that one, APA Corp, I've bumped up to 0.5 just so that it adds up to exactly 100. Where is it? APA, yeah, there we go. So that's had a little boost just because it needed to add up to 100. Yeah, so the reason why I think a pie is good for this, apart from the fact that I just want to keep it separate from these, I think a pie is good for this because once a year is it called reconstituting? I can't remember the exact word they use, but once a year they kind of reset the portfolio. I think this year they might have sold 20 companies and put 20 companies in that weren't in before. So when you're doing that, it's a lot easier just to edit the pie. Well, in fact, setting it up like this is kind of easy as well. You set it up and then you can just execute. You just tell it to do it. But then also once a year there's going to be a reconstitution, which means that I'm going to do there'll be lots of buying, lots of selling, and I don't know, it's just easier to do it like this. And then the rebalance sorts it all out for you in the markets. I'm not exactly sure where the rebalance button is though. I think maybe because I've not got any cash in there at the moment, the option probably isn't there. So I'm just gonna set it to invest on the market open of the US market. Well, presuming that's a possibility. I've noticed, I mean, I had it in mind to just use 100 quid because I was under the impression that 20 pence per slice was enough. And I got that from some random forum when I was kind of Googling it. But it seems that's out of date information that I had, because when I click into, where did I click? In there? Where was it? Holdings. When I clicked into edit pie here, I noticed minimum investment 250. And if you click there, it seems that £1 is the minimum per slice. So I have to put 250 quid in. I was umming and ahhing, to be honest. I was thinking about, for the sake of this experiment, just stripping out all of the lower ones, so from Cincinnati and below. In the last 2 seconds, I've decided just to go for it because I think I've got enough cash in here. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, just got enough cash in the ISA, so I could do it for 250 quid. So I think I'm just going to go for it. Okay, so I guess I just need to invest. There's no way of just putting cash in there and having it wait. So I guess I need to do it there. Okay, so why is it giving me them in this strange order? It's not alphabetical and it's not based on the size. Wonder why that is. I don't suppose it really matters, to be honest, so long as it does it right. Yeah, £1 is the smallest going there. Fund distribution by targets. Ah, there we go. So it's when new funds are added, it can do a self-balance. Shall I just click confirm buy? Let's do it. Your request will be processed after the following markets open. Okay, yeah, that's what I was hoping for. Good. Okay, so I'm guessing this should now say about Yeah, 13 quid cash. And we'll see what happens. Yeah, and it says cash now. Waiting for the market to open. That's cool. And for the record, this 250 quid has just been added to the portfolio. It was going to be 100, as you can see. But yeah, I've added 250 quid to the portfolio. It's in there as cash at the moment, but obviously in the next update to the unitisation, that will just be enveloped into the mind you, it's actually, we know it's going to be invested, don't we? So I might as well just add it here. I might as well just add it there. 250. Whoops. Right, so I've added it to the trading 212 balance, and I won't add it to the cash. I'll just go straight to the trading 212 balance instead. So I've put it in there, put it in there. The assessment of the portfolio's performance hasn't been changed by the addition of the cash, which is the whole purpose of the unitisation. Cash balance after interest is paid out is going to be exactly as it was before because I've just invested the cash straight away. Alright, so the market's opened about an hour and 10 minutes ago. So the transactions should have happened. And there we have it. Total, oh well, that was an hour ago. Click into it. Well, that's just I don't like that view. I think you can get a better view of it if you just go into it this way. Okay, so it's invested, and I'm already down £1.11p. As always with these things. So if we click into it, holdings. Okay, that's all balanced. Score, your pie is currently perfectly balanced. Of course it is, because it's just been created or just been invested. Goals, invest or withdraw. I presume that's withdraw from the pie, not from the actual account. Go to holdings. Ah, there we go. That's what I was expecting, a rebalance button. So I guess at some point, if I was to reset the portfolio, because that's what the actual ETF does once a year. If I was to reset all of these things, I would then just click rebalance to make it get to that new portfolio. Okay, so it doesn't tell me how many shares there are, does it? Aptly. There we go, you own that many shares. Pfizer, this is what I wanted to check actually. If I click into Pfizer, I'm wondering whether this view here is of my whole Pfizer hold. Oh no, because this I don't have a Pfizer holding in here anyway, so it wouldn't make any difference. The Pfizer holding's in the invest account, my main Pfizer holding. What do I have an overlap with? UPS? No. There must be something that I've actually got in the other one as well. I remember thinking, I've got that one already. Tapestry, Unum. PepsiCo. That's in the ISA as well. Okay, so it shows them. It shows them both, bought manually, bought in pies. Okay, good. So that could just be the view for the whole ISA, couldn't it? Now, I wonder now if I go back to my normal investments and go into PepsiCo, because before I did this, I clicked in here and I turned off pie investments because I wanted these two things to be separate. But now I just want to double check. I wonder what's happening for PepsiCo, because that is in both 4.25. So hopefully that's just the manual investments, the 4.25. Can't remember the numbers. No, it's not. That's including the pie investment as well. That is an error on their part to me, because if you click here that you don't want it to show pie investments, it shouldn't show pie investments. And so that means PepsiCo should not show these 0.07 shares that are in pies on this screen. Yeah, that's something Trading 212 need to fix. I mean, luckily, this is why I use spreadsheets to track things. Right, now, so what I'm guessing is when I come to rebalance or reconstitute the pie, if I just go to edit pie now, I reckon I should now be able to, I mean, obviously I can click the cross and delete AbbVie altogether if I wanted to, but I should now be able to also just like change that to 4.9, change that to 4.7. If I click confirm, that shouldn't change what I own, it just changes the target. And I'd need to click rebalance to actually change what I own. Let's click confirm. Sorted. Yeah. So it hasn't done anything. That's good. And then a similar thing should happen if I were to just delete it. So during the day before the market opens on the reconstitution day, I can just click edit pie, spend my however long it takes just going through them all, deleting some, adding some new ones, changing all the weightings, and then it will be ready so that when the market does open, I can just click rebalance and it'll do all of the necessary buys and sells. So let's put that back to 4.8 and 4.8, how it was before. Oh, there's 1 pence in cash. Okay, so I'll have to adjust my unitisation. Right, so how do I get this cash out just to keep it neat and tidy? So it's actually £249.99, isn't it, that I've... How do I get this cash out? What if I click on it? Ah, there was a withdraw button, wasn't there, before? Invest or withdraw. Right, what does the withdraw button do? Okay, cool. That's nice and simple. So I guess if I was to withdraw more, it would... Well, let's test it, shall we? If I was to withdraw 10, buy targets. Oh, here we go. I think that's because it's not a big enough number. I bet it's the same rule. I bet it's the same rule where you have to... Is it only going to do it when I say 249? Yeah. So it's the same rule when it... But I bet you can export it from the pie and then sell it outside of the pie if you wanted to. So it's the same for selling as it is for buying. £1 per line. Yeah, I think I'm understanding how it works now. So that 1p can come out, withdraw from pie, 1p, confirm, just to keep it tidy. Where is it? Oh, I guess you have to go into holdings, don't you? Oh no, cash was shown there as well. It's disappeared from there, I think. Was it there before? Cash 0, good. Okay, cool. So that's neater and tidier. Alright, cool. I think I'm understanding it, and I think I'm pretty happy with how it works, to be honest. I like it so far. That's my introduction to pies. Who knows, one day I'll either just like decide that this is something that I have experimented with and I'm done with, or who knows, one day I might build up a bigger position in this SCHD top 50 replica. Who knows? We'll see what happens. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.